Happens to be 5:43, and it's time for the monthly meeting of the Bristol County Water Authority. It's January 22nd, and meeting has been called to order. The second item on the agenda is public input. Seeing no members of the public here, we'll now move on to a vote on the recommended rate increase for fiscal '27. Which we just had a public hearing on. Steve, is there anything you want to add?
No.
Make a motion that we approve the increase as presented in public input.
Can I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second? Okay, any discussion on that rate increase, proposed rate increase, recommended rate increase?
Wonderful presentation, Steve.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
State what the rate increases.
Boy, you're
Yeah.
Want to specify the amount?
Yeah. Do you have that handy, Steve?
3%.
The rate, proposed rate increase is for 3%. And knowing that now, and having all of us having just attended the public hearing, and we have a motion before us, all those in favor, and hearing no further discussion, all those in favor of the proposed rate increase say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's a unanimous vote. Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes of 2 meetings. The first one is the property committee meeting from December 3rd, 2025. Can I have a motion on that?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion of those minutes? No, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous as well. Next is the board minute meeting. Board meeting minutes from December 11th.
Move to approve.
Move to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion of those minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Also,
Warren, I will abstain since I was not here for the meeting.
okay, one abstention. Okay, now we'll move on to the executive director's report. Mr. Kutu.
Report for January 22nd. Kentucky Pipeline Project Design and Permitting. Beta's monthly progress report is in your packet, an updated schedule. Any questions on that?
Well, there's still not, the trenchless construction is 3 months late. The railroad crossing is 2 months late.
Yep.
Is it just gonna continue to slide out? I don't know what, they're just rationale for it, is it their subs are not providing, or is it we're just late?
Yeah, just getting information from their subs to complete the work.
This shows, the schedule does show that we're gonna have a final thing in spring of 27. That would be an award.
No, that would be
Building.
already going out to bid.
Oh, it says bidding and award, and then target spring.
Spring 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just to get the package together
Package
here.
out to bid and
And
getting numbers in, yeah.
So,
But it's dependent on, getting approvals through 2026.
So they've got a whole year to get all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my concern about some of the wording in their report, when they talk about advancing towards 90%, if they had only used it once, maybe I would not be as concerned, but when I see it show up again, I say, what does that really mean, advancing? You could be at 3% and you'd be advancing towards 90%. So that makes me a little uneasy. And I'm not sure if they're updating this schedule, which it seems based on the slippage also, that seems
It
to be
does
elusive.
reflect the slippage.
You felt it
Yeah,
reflected?
if you compare the one that they initially submitted to
Okay.
this one. But they also, I guess my question then is, for in item number 6, the permitting, several of them have been submitted, like the DOT and the permit for that, 195. Who is gonna give us a report on the status of the permit? Or is it just you threw it into the government and you're...
No, they follow up with the staff to find out where things are.
So we should be able to see their monthly report say...
Contacted
Contacted Joe.
so-and-so, yeah. So
Okay.
I've asked for those updates as well.
Okay, great, that's great. Okay,
So, and we continue to push them to get some of this crossing work finalized, so they can get the permits for the railroads, and so, but we continue to push, but we ask for an updated schedule, so it doesn't surprise me you're gonna get an updated schedule with everything just pushed out.
Would it be beneficial to bring them in? That way we could pepper them with questions at least?
We tried that.
So do that again.
What do you have in hand now?
We have the 90% on what they call the roadway plans, which is pretty much the bulk of the project. And we've had, we've received some comments from East Providence. We're wrapping up our own individual comments. We're having a design workshop with Beta engineers, us, East Providence, in a couple weeks to go through all those comments. But they use those plans, those plans served as the basis for the DOT permitting and the DEM permitting and the Army Corps permitting.
So, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to this project.
Yes.
So understanding how it can lag, but I guess the question I would have for you is, are you satisfied with their diligence and level of effort and capability, or is there someplace that they're falling short?
I've been frustrated throughout this entire project. Yeah. So, it's taken way too long.
But there's not much we can do about it. We can't just say we'll forget it.
We're pretty much into it.
Yeah, we can't say forget it, we're gonna start over.
No. No, that doesn't do us any good. A question that's in here that they raise, which I think we've discussed this a bit, is they say about the easements and access agreement. It's our understanding that BCWA's legal counsel is currently working to engage affected property owners and prepare easement documents. We're unaware of current easement status. I'm not sure when they're going to need that, but
We're working on, we've received all the easement documents
okay.
from Joe, and we're engaging the private property owners now, so.
All right, so they just are unaware that we have that information?
Yeah, we haven't.
Okay.
When they bill us for any of the work, do they say how many people they have working on?
Oh, yeah, they're very detailed. And we don't typically pay them right away. It's the only leverage that we have.
As we get to the end of this, or near the going out the bid, is there any consideration being given of what type of contract we're going with? Is it going to be one contract and that contractor's going to
Yeah,
So
that hasn't been finalized yet.
Because if we, like you say, if we have the roadway basically completed at 90% and we get the approval,
Right.
can we let out a roadway contract?
We potentially could, yes.
Yeah,
Does anybody, I don't know if we could do that under one contractor who would then be given the subs for the
Right.
tunneling?
Yeah, I mean, for example, I mean, it was brought to my attention that the, the East Bay pipeline, for example, when Bristol County made the connection tie-in to Providence in the mid-1990s, that was done under 6-7 contracts, Mike?
Seven contracts.
Yeah.
they were simultaneous?
Precedent.
No, okay.
Some ran parallel, some was
So is this partly a capacity issue on their part? They just don't have the resources? So if that's the case, and I don't know that this is practical, I was throwing it out, the blending and control station is a little bit of a different animal from everything else. Could that be segregated to a different provider? Or is that just?
For design purposes or for construction?
Design, yeah, for anything, just to basically change from the vendor we have now for that piece.
Well, for the design vendor, I mean, again, we're pretty much well invested in
Too
this.
far down, okay.
We had a design change with that facility because we were initially going to build two separate facilities and a decision, and I think it was the right decision to relocate all those facilities within the East Providence storage tank, which is already a water supply type facility. And we got East Providence on board to accept that we'll have our facility within their fenced area. And we do have we have a conceptual plan that they recently completed, and we had a discussion just yesterday with East Providence and Beta Engineers on that. So that's moving, and I know that project, that piece is kind of pushed out, but hopefully, once the siting location has been finalized, we kind of push them along to kind of move that piece ahead. That's very critical because that's something that the Department of Health is really going to have to approve because it has to do with water quality or any chemicals. You're actually retreating a ton of water, and Department of Health track record on getting back on responding is not very good.
Do you have any guesstimate on your own about when we may hear from East Providence? Like one way or another?
Actually committing, finalize?
No, I can't hold you to that.
I'm sorry.
We've come a long way to be.
Yeah, right. But we are definitely at a point this year where I think now's the time, is that we should have everything into permitting. We should be looking into financing and getting an agreement in place with each province.
Would it be of interest to the board in discussing the schedule and the slippage of such to have Beta here every month to explain the schedule and just give us a verbal report where they are, and we can ask them questions directly? Is there any interest in doing that? Would that serve any purpose?
I'd vote for it. I'd take their schedule that they have today and see what it is next month. And why did they slip it? What is their problem? Is there an issue? And who do they hold responsible for?
We had them in, I don't know how many months ago.
August.
Early August.
Okay, and there was the optimistic side of me that thought they would have stepped up their game a little bit, but that doesn't appear to be the case. And I think it's an easy thing to just ask them request their presence at a board meeting. We can do it once and see how it works out, and maybe not every month.
I don't see that's out of line. I'm surprised that with a contract of this size, they don't have somebody here every meeting, just to keep us informed.
I think I might have explained one of the things that annoyed me about their response when we sent them a letter, and that's sort of a personal thing, but I'll say it again. That letter that we sent them to basically say and explain the schedule and what's going on was the result of board action. And that letter was sent out by the executive director with his signature, and also with the signature of the chairman. The response didn't come to me at all. And they did not address anything to me or the board. And if I were in the position, I would have addressed it to the board with a copy to the director. So I'm not sure if I'm reading too much into it at all, but I was really surprised at that omission. A minor thing. But
My 2 cents would be if we want to do it on some type of intermittent basis would be one thing, but to get them to come here every month,
yeah,
is time that they're going to be here and preparing for it, they're not actually working on the project.
Right,
So
and whatever time they spend coming here is going to show up in a bill somewhere somehow.
I would at
So-
least go quarterly, you know?
So
periodical, but not every month.
why don't we invite them to the next meeting? The February meeting, is there anything particularly major agenda items coming up? No. We will invite them to the next meeting and we'll see how that goes and we'll figure out a schedule from there. We won't give them the schedule.
I mean, I think, you know, when we sent that letter out and the board approved that sizable amendment, that you did approve that with some understanding that the plans, with the exception of a blending and control station, all other aspects would be completed 90% and into permitting by the end of 2025. That has not happened. So I think you're right to bring him in and say, what's going on? You know, why hasn't it slipped now? Now you're telling us now it's February.
So we'll invite them to the next meeting. Does anybody see that as not a good approach? No? Okay, we'll do that. You can move on with your report, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, so for the next item, for the demo of the water treatment plant new maintenance garage, 2 items for discussion for tonight's meeting. I won't talk about that any further here. With respect to the dam removal project, Shad Factory Pipeline, and other properties, the project is in all essence considered complete. We're reviewing a final invoice from the contractor, but we also had some outstanding grant funds still from National Fish and Wildlife, and that grant was scheduled to expire on 12/31/25. Did make a request to extend that, and we did get the extension, which is good because so we'll be able to get cost reimbursements for any work associated with dam removal monitoring activities, which is kind of part of our permitting requirements. So that's going to be some work that's PAR and Save the Bay will be doing. We're discussing some possible maintenance for the contractor to do to remove some sediment buildup that we've been seeing in the channel, and any additional tree shrub plantings and things of that nature. So that was some good news on that front. We've completed all the private well testing that we were required to do. We sent notices out to the 12 that have participated in the dam removal program, and half participated in getting their wells tested. Still haven't received the results yet, but once we do, we'll package those and send them off to the property owners.
When we were starting this project, I seem to recall there were people concerned about their well water.
Correct.
Were all 12 of these that were sampled previously or were properties of concern, were they ever tested prior to us doing the work?
The 12 are the ones that participated in the program before the dams were
Right.
removed. Yeah.
And so now we've gone...
And we offered it to maybe like, it was like 40 plus.
Yeah, so now we've got 6 of the 12.
Yep.
Is there any reason why the other 6 haven't participated?
They never responded to the notice.
So we sent them a letter or something and contacted them?
Did the person who had, excuse me, had the biggest concern, did he take part of it?
No.
He did.
I don't think so.
Well, then we should follow up with the other 6, I think. So it doesn't come back to haunt us later on. Just to send out another letter saying, we sent you a letter, we're glad to come out and do whatever testing's necessary. I don't know if that causes any scheduling problems, but I think it'd be a prudent thing to do.
The shed, Park continues to work on the shed documents, shed pipeline documents. We had a meeting, Mike and I met with representatives from Save the Bay and Mass Department of Environmental Protection Dam program at the Shad Dam to discuss steps and potential grant funding associated with the dam removal project at that location.
What is the shed? Is that
The Shad's the one we went and visited.
We
that
went and
one time.
visited them? Oh,
Yeah.
That's the big one. We're talking about taking that down?
We're just having some preliminary discussions at this point.
You sure Rehoboth doesn't want it?
We haven't asked him for it, asked yet.
That'd be a nice park.
And we also met with representatives from Swansea Water. We can talk about that later in the meeting as well. The service line replacement program, we have an updated chart, many changes there. But we're also starting a new initiative on this lead service line program, which seems to just continue, goes on and on, something new, but with assistance from the DOH contractor. Per the regulations, so there's a number of private side that we presume that were non-lead based on their age of installation. And there are like 1,900 of those. By rule, we need to actually inspect and validate 20% of those, which is 380. So we just recently sent out notifications to 400 of those customers asking for inspections. And if they don't want inspections, it also has the QR code, it has links to the survey, they can do their own inspection. So these are services that we think they're not lead, we don't know for sure, but we need to go and check it anyways.
So if they do a self-inspection, that counts?
Yes. Yep. And then they'll never hear from us again. The Fountain Avenue tank evaluation was completed and submitted to DOH. As I mentioned in the presentation, all that work confirmed that the Barrington service area can be operated without the tank, and in fact, improved system pressure of anywhere between 15 and 20 pounds throughout the district, and also fire flow throughout the town. So,
Explain to me how that works. How does that improve the,
how does that work?
once the tank is gone?
So the level of the Fountain Avenue tank is actually lower than the tank in Bristol.
Oh, okay.
So when the tank's in service, you're running off of the height of the Fountain Avenue tank. And without if that tank's offline, we're running off the head from the Medicom tank. in Bristol.
The Medicon tank?
Yeah, debut tank.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Thought they were weak.
See what we do for you?
Raise it higher, please.
And it's it's noticeable. I can see it on my house.
Aaron's getting more pressure.
Just like, they always take care of Barrington first, I've heard that.
Water purchase charts are provided. Interesting that for the month of December, they were highest that they've been over the past 5 years. And actually 5% over the prior 5-year average, but for the year, we're still under cumulatively for the 5-year average.
Steve, I had a question there.
Yep.
You note 5% higher,
Yeah,
but Dan's report indicates that revenue was lower due to decreased consumption.
right.
And I couldn't swear the
There's
two.
a lag in
There's a lag.
So that's what's bought and what's
So it's
billed.
not the real
It's not
consumption, it's
happening.
when you have your reports cut.
Correct. But he's reporting on what's metered and billed. I'm reporting on what we buy.
Okay.
So,
We buy it before.
You buy before you bill.
But the language isn't what we bought, it's what was consumed.
correct.
Steve, backing up from it, the Fountain Avenue tank, is that considered to be like a permanent decision at this point?
Yes.
That we don't need it?
Yeah, in fact, we just submitted an application to DOH to actually, they want a physical sever of the pipeline connection there.
Okay.
So we'll be doing that once the weather breaks.
Okay.
So,
But the tank serves a purpose
Do we have
because
an antenna on top of
we
the tank?
have,
Yeah.
we have a SCADA antenna and we also have a gateway antenna that collects the meter readings.
so the tank would remain potentially available for service, but not in service?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
But it'd only be back in service if they make a reconnection, so it's not a quick, simple
Right.
turn of a valve or something.
Yeah, no, and also the tank would probably require some work. The tank would require some maintenance.
Yeah.
before we-
Well, it's empty right now, right?
It's a-
You're gonna have to maintain it anyhow, just whatever's sitting there.
Yeah.
That's gonna be.
Can we sell it as low income?
I mentioned that a couple meetings ago, throw a tower up there and then you can sell it to everybody.
There's a, could you say, a big
Put a tower up
big
there.
piece of rock?
Place in the tank.
It's a giant rock.
Yeah.
You could sell it for phones and you got your.
We could get rock bottom price.
Metering, so on and so forth.
It's a glacier.
It's going to be a high rise.
They can pay the lease.
That's what I mean, yeah. AT&T.
Zoning code.
Verizon looked at putting some stuff on that tank like a year ago.
Yes, but I mean, if we got rid of the tank and threw a tower there.
Oh man, you get all the neighbors up in arms.
Put a tree around it.
The coyotes and the
Put one up, looks
hawks.
like a tree.
They do that, yeah.
Doesn't sound like a decision up for us. So.
Capital improvement chart there shows the projects and remaining budgets, all in good shape. And just to give the board a heads up, annual performance review of the executive director is coming up. Actually just recently passed my 5-year anniversary date.
Really?
Yeah.
Just to straight clear the record, is it anything in our rules that says it has to be annual?
I think it's in my contract.
Oh.
Yeah. When you want to do it every month?
Every 5 years.
Yeah.
Every 5 years it'd be.
Sounds like the Yankees giving somebody a
So Lauren will be sending out the review forms again, and then we'll have to schedule a personnel committee meeting. I think in the past, we've done it just before the meeting in February. And also, not added in here, but Dan and I would like to schedule a meeting again with the finance committee during the coming month to follow up on some items that we had discussed in October. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Mike, anything you want to contribute?
No, Everything's been touched on pretty well. You know, the biggest thing is it's winter, it's cold. So we got guys out there pretty routinely trying to manage all the breaks. So along with managing the breaks, we also have to manage the equipment, given that it's so cold. So it not only beats up the pipes, it beats up the guys, it beats up the equipment. So it's just a, in general, tough time of year.
Good luck this weekend.
So it's gonna be cold, so we will have to manage that, and we don't wanna put anyone in a bad situation, that coupled with the snow. So it's something we've already started talking about, so that we're prepared. We prepare for the facilities, you know, that's the easy stuff, plows, snow blowers, but we also prepare, from a staffing standpoint, that we can respond, and we can rotate people, crews through, in case events become extended durations, in these type of conditions, but that's the biggest thing right now. We're going to be going into quite a cold snap. It looks like it's going to hold until next week, so it's something that we kind of actively manage.
Just out of curiosity, so far, like the month of January, how many incidents have you had to deal with?
I took a poll the other day, and from mid-December, it was about 10 events. And that didn't include 2 this week, so 12. So a mix of mains and services, cracks, failed plastic, things like that.
Okay. Colin,
I got a couple updates. We have started looking at, as Steve mentioned in the public hearing, this year's capital improvement project. We're looking at some cleaning and lining of mains in this area, actually Child Street, Medicom Ave, and sections of Child Street, section of Medicom, and a section of Kingsview Road. Also looking at some renewal of water services in the area. And there's some incidental work with gate valve replacements and hydrants and stuff like that. So we're looking at that right now, specifications and planning. We've been sending the draft plans around to Town of Warren and RIDOT, and just sent a CRMC permit application. No updates on Moreland Fogarty. They're waiting for the spring to come back, do permanent patch and mill and overlay. Similar with Ducon, they are getting the last invoice for the striping, that when they mill and overlay to restripe the new pavement. And then just some miscellaneous projects that we had. The Mount Hope High School renovation is still in the planning process. We actually had a meeting with them today where we're talking about how they're going to temporarily shut down that section of Chestnut Street where they're going to be working. And then working on a couple product mills for that. Unity Park, which is 500 Wood Street in Bristol, that's ongoing. And then we got some product mills for that. No updates for lead service lines, just working with JML and the customers that are interested in their private service renewals. And something that came to fruition recently was Riverview Ave in Bristol. There's a section of it that doesn't have a water main, and they're looking at about halfway through Riverview, between the top portion of it before you get to Butterworth, there's no water main, and we recently received plans for connecting those. I think it'd be about 7 or 8 new properties to be tied in.
are these,
You're gonna tie them right in as you go through? They've agreed to do that?
There's still,
We don't have an agreement, no. We just have a draft plan, and that's what they're preliminary proposing. We don't know what the developer has agreed to.
this is not for existing homes, these are houses that will be built? Or-
those existing homes.
Oh, the existing homes, okay.
Most, I think there's maybe one being built currently.
Right.
The Unity Park project, that's, we're just doing work on the streets. We don't have any lines that we own in the park itself, do we?
Correct, it's just a typical public service that's already installed, and they're doing the private service now.
And your years are calendar years, right?
Yeah, years are off.
Yeah, right.
Whoops. Just as a question, when I recall that the Riverview, there was a water line sent down there because it came in from, I think, Franca, cut across, and I think, remember, there was Josh Canario, he paid for that line. Who's paying for this one to go in?
I believe it's, like Mike said, there's no formal agreement yet, but I would think it's a cost share between the residents that would be tied into the new water main.
Yeah, we just got the plans from the engineer, so there's no entity representing him so much right now. But you're right, that first stub that went in was for the construction of one home.
Yeah.
So,
And that was kind of.
When you say cost share between the residents and whom? Who? Us?
No,
No.
between the residents themselves.
Well,
Supposedly, I think it does, correct me if I'm wrong, they did do that for one lady on the other side, on Slocum, years ago. They threw a line down there for one house, and if you waited so many years, you didn't have to share the cost of the pipe going in, and you could just tie yourself in and pay for that. I think that's the way it runs. You don't share the cost of the pipe going in, the main pipe, except for the guy who really needs it. That's the way they operate down there. They're all friends and neighbors, but they'll wait 5 years and then tie in and stuff, and then they don't have to pay for the.
but if we're not funding it, do
You're
we
not
get
funding it,
involved?
no, but the cost, if you want to share, let's say it's $50,000 or $100,000 for 10 houses, everybody pays $10,000, you have a pipe around the street.
Right.
Then you have to pay to tie into that pipe
Right.
individually.
Yep.
So if you wait 5 years or something like that, you don't have to pay a portion of that main line, but you pay a portion of just tying in inside. Yeah,
That sounds like a
I think there was.
homeowner
Huh?
That's
Oh, it is,
bad.
it certainly is, but you don't, you could, if you wait it out, you know, it doesn't cost you as much.
I think once it's in a public right of way and it's accepted by the water utility, I mean, it's not a private line.
No, you're absolutely right, they pay for the line to go in though,
Right,
the initial contract.
sure.
But if you don't participate in it as one of the landowners, you don't have to pay any of it.
I think a long time ago, BCWA actually contracted the work, and that's where that lies. So we actually paid, so we had a mechanism but we don't do that anymore. We're not involved at all. It'll be a private, so if there's any money exchange in the future,
Those
it
homeowners get.
would be completely a private issue. We would be outside of that.
But
It would be our asset. Once it's
Yeah, they have to
live
contribute
and
the asset.
activated, it's our asset.
Oh, and they still may have to pay or they can't hook up.
Well,
They would pay their
once
service.
it's turned over to BCWA, it's their thing, you pay $5,000 or $10,000 to tie into the pipe.
Correct.
You don't pay for the initial.
and we take the donation.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your reports, and now we move on to Dan.
Can I have one question about, I asked him on the way in, Randall. I thought he would have been excited because he had something new last month to talk about. The status of the workstation program, is that in progress, or the refresh program that we were told about last month?
Yeah, he's updating the workstations.
Okay. Yeah, if you could
Ongoing.
I'm going.
make a comment, maybe.
Okay.
Thanks.
The floor is yours.
Am I up, all right?
You're up.
Okay, it's been a while since we've seen financials, so we're into December now. We're almost done with the year. December versus last December, revenue's down almost 14%. Consumption for this December was much less than last December. The
was very low. And a little bit that's offset by the rate increase. Expenses for December were a little bit higher, 15% higher than last December. The bulk of those are the increase in the professional fees. We had a decent amount of invoices in there for the designing of the operational new garage. Employee benefits are a little bit higher. We had a lot of FSA, HRA activity in December this year. Everybody was hitting the doctor's offices in December. And those two big increases were offset by lower water purchase for this December versus last December. When we go on to through December, for the 10 months, revenue is a little bit higher, about 4.47%. That's mostly due to the rate increase. And it's offset a little bit by a slight decrease in consumption for the year so far. And expenses are 4.37% higher. I don't think these specific items have really changed. Salaries and admins are up, basically it was raises given, and there was an open position for part of 2024. Professional fees are up. We had our nice little resolution of Northbound issue, and we had some additional engineering fees this year for the ops garage. We didn't have those fees last year, and the audit fee increased a decent amount versus last year. And those two bigger increases are offset by the lower water purchases through December cumulative. When we get to the budget, we're still doing well. We're still over budget in revenue, 12.63%. As in the past, that's just basically, what we budget and how I spread it out isn't necessarily 100% even with how consumption happens. We always budget a little bit more conservatively. That should probably start to level off a little bit the last 2 months of the year. December, January, and February tend to be pretty consistent. Expenses are under budget, 7.1%. Three big items there, the same as through December really. The salaries and wage, admin expenses. Admin expenses are under budget due to the pension contributions being a lot less than budgeted. When we do the budget, it's based on last year's pension information, and then we pay that, and then when we get the new report for June of 2025, which we get like in September, I modify the remaining payments for the rest of the year to match what we need to have in for next June. So because of that, we haven't had to make any pension contributions last 2 or 3 months. So that's part of the reason why admin expenses are lower. The salaries and wages operations is lower. We had some open positions this year that were filled. We had a couple open, they got filled. And water consumption has just been lower than what we budgeted for the 10 months. When we get to pages 7 through 9, this is where you can see that lag coming in there between Steve saying the purchase lot and I'm saying consumption's down. You can see revenue dollars billed for the year for the 10 months is up just over 3%. And consumption's down just under 1%. So basically, our increase in revenue is driven by the rate increase. Consumption's been pretty flat. I don't expect January and February billings to alter that. So I think we should probably be pretty flat for consumption for the year if we're lucky. And we'll probably end up with a 3 or 4% increase in dollars billed for the year. Page 10, we're still doing well. This is as the debt service ratio, we're at 10.5. And then page 11 is the pension summary. I'm sure somebody noticed, because some of you like to look back at last month's too. This report's a little bit different. I literally just got the report today. So I had them send me over some information, and they sent me this. It's not the normal format that you usually see. I have requested that I be able to get them electronically, so I can hopefully get them quicker. So for the month, there was a decrease of just under $12,000, and the balance as of December 31st is $4.092 million. And that's pretty much it for December.
Dan, I have a question about the pension contribution. So we budget a certain amount during the budgeting process.
Correct.
Hey.
Budget through February.
Yeah, right. But my question is like, since our ARC payment is X, but we budget as a board, Y, who makes the decision about how much we contribute to the pension?
It's brought up in that meeting, when we had that pension meeting, how they come up, they have the 7.5%, 6.5% calculation. We always fund at the lower number, the 6.5%. And I mentioned that at that meeting, I think, if it comes in like 90,000, I might make it like 100, 105. But it's based on that 6.5% calculation.
Okay, so we're just setting essentially the budget for it, but we're not determining as a board how much we're gonna kick into the pension plan.
No, that's how much we're kicking into the pension plan for that June. So say we're doing the budget for fiscal 2027, which ends in February 2027. I have to make sure there's enough money in that calculation they give us in June of 2025. They say you gotta kick in $100,000 by next June. So I have to make sure we pay up by $100,000 by next June, and I work that into the budget to make it come out. Because then I have to project going forward to February. So I usually take whatever they give us for that number and I might bump it up a little bit. I can show you the calculation. It's probably easier to see it. You're a numbers guy. If you want to come to my office, I can send you the sheet. I have a sheet where I show the calculation and how I come up with the number, and it basically has the number through the budget period and then the number through through June.
Okay.
So, I can show you it. The number is brought up at that meeting when they tell us roughly how much to contribute based on the 7.5 or 6.5. Like I said, we usually contribute at the 6.5 interest rate that they calculate their contribution on.
That's a line right in the budget itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you fund that, whatever that budget number is.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. I just wanted to.
So it's essentially, it is approved by the board.
Yeah. Well, I was just wondering if we were 100% depleting that budget line.
Yeah.
Or
Yes.
because the ARC payment was lower this year because of market return, if we're not
Yeah.
actually depleting that line.
I don't think if you adjust that.
No,
at that
so
point.
like this year, we'll probably be under budget for pension because the market did well enough to compensate more than what we needed. So it probably, now it's not
Yeah,
gonna be,
you answered the question.
yeah, it's
so
not gonna
thank
be a ton under, it's not like we budgeted 200,000, we're gonna
Yep.
put in 10. But it gets adjusted, so there's been years where we might have been a little under because the market, we had one year, I think it dropped, market didn't do well and it dropped, we had to kick it up. I can show you the schedule that I do, it's,
you. No, I got it.
it's
I got it. Thank you.
Anything else, Dan? Nope. Okay.
Nope, Steve mentioned we'll work on having a meeting with the finance committee based on some information they wanted.
The next item on the agenda is board member town council reports. Anybody have anything to report about their town council?
Mr. Chairman, I haven't heard anything from the town council regarding a replacement for Bill Gardner yet, but I can report that I was reappointed for another 3 years. So God willing, maybe I'll get to see the Pawtucket water line.
It might be the next 3 years.
I also
Sorry, I had to.
I have one of the town administrator from Bristol, wanted to send his thanks to the executive director and BCWA for their efforts tying in Wally's school over the past 2 months. He grabbed me and made sure I brought that up at this meeting. I guess the guys worked hard and tied in a different fashion, because that's going to be something for the town, because they tied in both the domestic as well as fire water.
Well, that's a good question. The Mount Hope High School, is that going to be a larger water service?
I'm not sure what is there now, but the domestic is 6 inch.
Not that more kids can take a shower at one time.
There'll be plenty of water.
Okay. Watch out for the itchy, yeah.
That's a high school for Warren too. It's a regional school, so it's also, the kids in Warren will be able to take a shower.
Warren kids don't need to shower, don't worry.
Okay.
We know that.
Anything else? Okay. The next item on the agenda, task order for Park
Yes.
Corporation.
Yes.
Stephen.
Before you is a request a task order from Park Corporation to advance the plans for the new operations garage to the 30% design phase. Architectural engineering services associated with that work. Industrial equipment survey, design services, some additional land surveying services, some geotech engineering services, and code consultation services for a fee of not to exceed $300,000.
I make a motion that this be accepted and approved, as long as they meet their schedule of 1 May.
What was the last part of that?
As long as they meet their schedule of 1 May.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
At the conclusion, we'll have a presentation to the board and then we'll make a decision as to where the next steps go on that.
Hearing no discussion requests, all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Okay, moving on to item number 9. Board vote on proceedings with plan for the demolition of the former water treatment plant building.
Well, I think Bristol County Water and the board have done their due diligence and all they can with respect to potentially preserving the former treatment plant. You know, you're all aware of the history. We went out to bid, we put out an RFP for a couple months. We received no responses. You know, but then also with the planning for the redevelopment of the site and the new building, it's come to, it's been determined that the land area is needed where the building sits. You know, specifically for site circulation, parking, and control of stormwater runoff. So at this point, I'm asking the board to, you know, go back and proceed with putting the plans together for the demo. The board did approve a task order to Park Corporation way back in February 2024 for this effort, which was suspended for a period of time while we went through the motions of looking to see if there was a potential for preserving the buildings. So there's sufficient funds, except with the exception of power seeking additional $6,000 to complete the work, given that the project budget and the task associated with that was put together 2 years ago, so their costs have gone up in that 2 years period of time. And they anticipate, if they give them the okay tomorrow, they can have that work done within 8 weeks.
Do we have a motion on the recommendation?
This does not include the building on the street.
Oh, wait, John, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Motion?
Motion
Wait.
second.
Oh,
And then we can talk about it.
Yeah. We have a motion.
What was the I didn't catch
The motion, wasn't the motion over here?
No, you didn't say that.
You made the motion, I'm sorry. The motion
And
was.
I'll second it
What
for
was
him.
it? I didn't,
To
He
accept
said the motion to
recommendation.
approve to proceed with the plans for the demolition of the former wastewater treatment, water treatment facility.
Okay.
Discussion.
Now we can have the
Now we have
discussion.
discussion.
Not a discussion, I just want to know, it doesn't include the building on the street.
Well, I was
Just
gonna
the
ask,
treatment.
I was gonna clarify that myself, so The answer is,
It's up to you.
well, but
It's not,
the proposal right now is not including that building.
it's not needed for the redevelopment of the site for the new building. It's not required, it can be saved.
But adding the
No,
six,
I was just curious, it wasn't the whole project.
adding the six, I'm trying to get the same clarification, adding the $6,000 to the existing contract, that will only provide work on the two buildings across the street, not the third one that's right on the street, so to speak, the small.
No, this is for the main plant
The
building.
main plant.
Right. There's two buildings.
Or it can include, and we can also throw in the building on the street too. We're not gonna demolition the current maintenance garage, we're still working on it.
No, I understand that, but this is for develop the plans and contract documents for the demolition of the water treatment facility. And it says, in the previous paragraph, demolition of the former plant building along with the current maintenance garage. So I'm not talking about the timing of that, I'm just trying to understand that adding the $6,000 to this will get plans and contract documents that will take down the plant building and the current maintenance garage. Is that correct?
No, just the plant building.
What's that?
Just the plant.
Yes.
Just the plant.
Demolition of the former water treatment.
The idea being that we could potentially be moving forward with the demolition of the plant this summer, while we're still developing the plans for
No, I
the building.
understand that. I was just talking about the other brick building out on the farm.
Right, you were talking about it, but I was trying also to understand your question, the answer to your question, as well as if this includes plans and specs to take the two buildings down, regardless of the timing of it. But you're saying it's only for the former plant building, not the maintenance garage.
Correct.
Okay.
This is just bringing back that original task order, which was for both brick structures.
Both.
That's what I thought, the original.
Right, and that's what it sort of says.
Right.
Okay.
But,
After you accidentally hit it while they were working on it.
okay. But so we're all.
You don't need to decide tonight whether you want to knock down that building or not.
Oh, please, just put it down.
Okay.
Get rid of it. Jeez. It's 3 years
Well,
ago.
that's the properties committee talking, right?
It's a
Yeah,
motion.
so sounds like you want to take it down.
Well, but first things first, we have a contract. I want to make sure we all understand, including me, as to what that contract is getting us. What it's getting us is plans and specifications to demo the former plant building, not the maintenance garage, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So my question is,
Oh, you just
Why-
answered your
why-
question. You just answered your own question.
no, I know that. My question is, why don't we just have one contract to take down all three buildings? To do plans and specs that take down all three
Because
buildings?
we still need the other building.
Because we're not going to knock down the maintenance garage until the new building is built.
No, I'm not talking about, you have plans and specs that can be used later on. I'm not saying go out to bid to take them down.
Because by the time we get to the old maintenance building, the cost will have gone up,
Yeah.
right? So I don't think.
But that has nothing to do
I don't
with
think
what
we
you
can
have to
design. I don't think we can include that
I don't
currently.
think that has anything to do with what you have to do to take them down. And I'm just saying, include that in the plans and specs. But if that's not what we're doing, that's fine. I'm just
So a
making
lot of the
sure.
legwork has to do with like sampling and waste characterization, so they know what to put in the specifications. So that work only occurred on the treatment plant and the smaller brick building. So it would be a new set of services associated with the garage where we currently occupy. So it wouldn't fall under that previous task order.
Okay, so if it's only for the one building, why would we even entertain the thought of tearing down the other building? That's not what's before us right now. I agree with that concept, take them all down. But this is not what this is saying here. If the board wants to amend the motion to approve this, they can do that.
You already have a current contract with Park Corporation. And they're only looking for $6,000 more to up the plans and specs for the demo of the 2 older buildings.
Yes. Just leave it as that, take them down, and when the time comes, get rid of the garage. We're gonna have to.
The other garage will come down as part of the building of the new building.
The new building.
Right.
That'll be part of that contract.
Correct.
Okay,
Sure
a
this
motion on the
Sure this
floor.
isn't the end of it, we're gonna hear more.
I have I think, some clarity here, but a proposed minor amendment to the motion. Right now, I read this to proceed with the plans for the demolition. That means we're moving forward with the demolition. I think what we mean to say is proceed with finalizing plans for the demolition.
Yes.
Second.
Yes, because we're gonna take those plans, we're gonna go out to bid. That's gonna come back to the board
Right,
And a launch.
to a demolition contractor.
right.
Everett Francis is coming with time.
So you wanted to preserve the historical elements. Is that something that needs to be put in there? Because that's gonna drive the price. Do they care?
Well, that should be considered in that development of the plans and specs, so I don't think we should worry about it. All they have to do is say, save this, save this, save this, and when it goes out to bid,
We can do that. I don't know what the historical elements are, but we can do that.
Seems good. I think.
Tag sale out of the lawn.
all right, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
All the bleeding hearts will come out now. Folks that will be here with all this. Oh, now we gotta go.
Executive session time.
Motion to go into executive session as listed on the agenda.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Second, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, I'm going into executive
Well, I get
session.
to learn you when I don't say it right.
Can I have a motion to seal the minutes of the executive session?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes are both the noes.